not only with the Force of Focus and the flagship and what I do at Winter Circle and what I do for a living is build personal brands, but when did it dawn on you that you were building a brand and you were no longer just a tattoo artist?
Maybe like a year and a half ago, bro. Like it took a long time for me to figure that out. But I actually had somebody tell me that. They were like, you yourself are a brand. Like people already know like Dana Tattoos, that's a brand, you know? But I want people to know Warhorse as a brand, you know? So I'm really focusing on that. I'm not dropping as much merch with my own personal thing. I'm dropping everything with Warhorse as the brand. And I've been very fortunate that I've sold out of everything each day I drop. Like I'll drop, boom, 50 sweatshirts gone, boom, 50 hats gone, and then I'll rip a new one because I believe in doing like small drops instead of the same design over and over and over. I'm trying to be like, this is a limited thing. If you want in on it, awesome. If you don't want in on this one, there's going to be something rad next time, you know?
Urgency always wins.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have that like that brand awareness, you know what I mean? When you spend a lot of time creating what you could consider like a client journey, you know what I mean? Where clients get attached to what the mission, what the message, and what the impact is. When you can really like strike a feeling in that person, then they become advocates for that brand. And that doesn't just work with businesses. That's like the one-to-one connection that tattoo artists get is so different than I think what most businesses understand, but it can be done in any field. I've always believed that if you can get really good at what you're talking about, you can literally apply that to any business and win twice as fast. Because tattooing is not the easiest thing to scale and to be able to maintain that kind of client reputation and like client trust because of the stigma that comes with it. So with where you're at and just everything you're saying right now is so one off for what the industry's expectations are. So that's fucking cool to hear somebody say it unprovoked because a lot of the time you have to be trained pretty heavily to understand those nuances to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
man,
it's,
it definitely has came over time.
go ahead, Dana.
Oh, it's a thing that's come over time, you know, and I wish I had somebody to teach me that side of it 10 years ago. That didn't come with what I learned in tattooing. You know, that came with trial and error. And unfortunately, I am the type of person I learn off seeing other people's mistakes as well as my own mistakes. So I'm like, okay, don't do it like that because these people are all drowning right now because they're not putting the time and effort into this area. You know what I mean? I actually hit up Jake maybe like a year ago, you know, and was like, hey, he's always been a big inspiration to me. And I see him leveling up every time. And I'm like, damn, like I need a mentor like that to get on the gas because he's already crushed some of the goals that I'm like still seeing as a little foggy. And then that makes me think like, all right, well, he's got the recipe and like anything I've learned, anything on earth is possible if you have the recipe. Once you get it, boom, it's about attack, attack, attack. And then you got it.
And you know, I mean, just from being a Mantis and setting a goal as a garage band in Riverside, California, and getting to the stage of Ozfest and touring the world and doing what we loved as kids and just being maniacs, that set the tone of just anything is possible for me. And at that very moment, when people told me no, or you're dreaming too big, or I dropped out of college and my mom's like, oh, what are you doing? You're going to go sing in a heavy metal band? I go, fucking A, mom. And a year later, I'm on MTV playing before Slayer and Black Sabbath. I mean, my mom was like, I'll shut my mouth, you know? And then to be able to sell out the House of Blues with my entire family there, I'm standing on stage. And at that very young age, I just looked and I was like, not as a conceited kid, but as like, if I can accomplish this, nothing's going to fucking stop me. Unless alcohol stopped me from a lot of things. I tell people so many times, like, to dream big and don't let that kid out of you, because me and Mikey always discuss this, man. When we're kids, we have these goals and these visions and these aspirations and we think so big. And at some point in our life, we just stop. And it's like, why do people stop? And really, dude, another reason I wanted you on this podcast was watching your journey over the last year. You weren't just posting tattoo photos.